Hello there, this is video number 2 on creating a table in Microsoft Word. If you completed the first video, you should have this table on your screen, and we're just going to pick up from here. There's a few more things I want to add to this. What I realized, there are a couple more consoles that I would like to add. So before I do that, I want to show you a really cool trick. I am going to double click here in cell, or under 2015, where it says Xbox One, and I'm just going to hit the tab button. Watch what happens. When I hit tab, it jumped over to 2016. If I hit tab again, it jumps to 2017. This is a great trick to be aware of. And notice when I was at the end of this line, it jumped down to the next line. I can tab over, and that's a really good trick to be aware of. Now I'm going to stop here at 2018. There are a couple more console devices that I would like to add to this chart. So with that cursor here in the very last box, I want to add a row, and watch what happens when I hit tab. Boom, it creates a new row. And if I click to the last row, if I hit tab again, it creates another one. So now I've got 2 new rows, and I am going to add the 3DS here, and then I'm going to just arrow down, and I'm going to add PS, I don't actually know how to say that, Vita. It's another console apparently. And I'm going to put some data in these boxes here, and I'm going to just have it pop up on the screen for you. And here is the data that I found. So would you pause the video now and input those numbers into your table? Okay, if you're back, hopefully you have all those numbers in the tables. And I noticed that my data looks a little inconsistent. These are all centered, and everything up here is not centered. So I think I'm going to highlight those boxes and just make them all be justified to the left for now. And then I realize I have a little problem here. Probably you're aware of this. The bottom 2 consoles, those are different types of consoles. Those are actually handheld devices. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to use that trick I showed you earlier right above the 3DS to the right. I'm going to have that plus sign pop up. I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to insert another row. And let's call this capital letters handheld. Okay, so I'm going to make a new column here that shows that, and I'm going to use that merge trick again that I showed you earlier. So go ahead and follow along with me. You want to click and gray out that entire row, and we're going to go up to, again, it should, under Table Tools, you have Layout. Click on the Layout button, and we're going to do Merge Cells, and all of a sudden those cells have turned into one cell. And now I'm going to go back to Home. I am going to put that text in the middle. I would like to color the cell. So again, that's the paint bucket. So we'll go back there and let's put another color here. And then let's make the text larger again there. And we have that there. So I made that one a little bigger than the other one, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. So now I have this kind of chart. And I'd like to do one more thing that's really cool trick to know. Actually, before I go on, let me show you one thing that I just thought of. I'm going to color that whole thing, or highlight that whole thing, and go up to Design. And in the Design table, you have under the Design, Table Tools, Design, if you click that little arrow right there, you get all of these options that are automatic color formatting that you can just select and create a really cool colored layout of your choice. Again, all I did was highlight it all, design, and then I just hovered over the grid that I want, and it changed it all for me. That's a really nice trick, a really easy way to make a chart look impressive. If you want it a little more simple, but with a little bit of pizzazz, you can do that. But I'm going to stick with, I'm going to go back to the original one, which is the top left one. So, whoops, but I lost my shading there. So let's put my color back in here. That's just the paint bucket. So I'll put that color back in there. Go back to the shading there, and then we'll go from there. Now I'm going to go to the last cell here again. I'm going to hit Tab one more time. I'm going to add a new column here, or new row, excuse me, and I'm going to grab that with the mouse. If you hover the mouse right over the bottom line, you click and drag, you can resize certain boxes as you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge these two cells right here. So I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to go back to Layout, Merge Cells right there, and I'm going to input a picture. Now, this is pretty cool looking. So what things you can do on these within the cells is you can color individual cells like we did. I'm going to maybe make this a light green. Go ahead and do that with me. And I'm going to resize the columns a little bit. I'm going to make the console column a little bit smaller here, and just going to spread this out a little bit. And move this one over a little bit as well. Okay, and I am going to, in this green box I just colored, I'm going to put my mouse in there, and I'm going to save it real quick. If you haven't done that, Control S to save it. And I am going to take a real risk here. I'm going to try to insert a picture, online picture. And we've learned that online pictures can cause it to freeze up. So before you do this, make sure you save. So I'm going to go to Bing, and I'm going to search a video game and just see what comes up. I had a really cool looking controller I found earlier that I wanted to insert. I don't see it in there. I suppose I could maybe do this one. I'll click this controller right here, and I'm going to insert it and hope it doesn't crash. Let's see. Hey, there it is. So because my cursor was in there, it inserted it into that box that I had selected. Now on this pop-up, if I click on that and I choose through here, I can do that I can move it around within there. So I've created a picture of looks like an Xbox controller to me. I'm going to add a couple more pictures. I'm going to merge these two cells here, and let's see. So I highlight select. So go ahead and do that with me. You go to Layout, Merge. All right, let's create another color here. Let's see. I'm going to go back to Home and go to the paint bucket. Let's do, I don't know, maybe a light blue background. Let's do that for now. I might change it later. And I want to show you another way to insert a picture into this that's really cool. To do that, you have to open your Google browser and go to just Google, and I'm going to search Nintendo Switch and go to Images. And so we have all kinds of images here, and what I'm going to do now is I like this image right here, just the Nintendo Switch logo. So I'm going to do my Alt-Tab trick. I'm going to jump back to my Word document, make sure my cursor is in that square where I want it, and then I'm going to go to Insert, Screenshot. Now, I've shown a lot of you this in class, and it's just a great trick. It'll automatically jump to the last thing you had open. I'm going to hit Screen Clipping. It'll jump back to that and wait for it to turn gray, and then you get this cursor, and I'm just going to click and drag over that logo and let it go, and boom, there it is. And I can click, whoops, I want to make it say through, and now it should allow me, nope, we want to grab the corner and resize it around. It should allow me to move it up if I want to. There we go. All right, put that right in the middle of it right there. I suppose I could also do some formatting to that image because I don't really like the square corners. So I could click on that. Ooh, that's pretty cool. The circle or something like that as well. And then the last one, I'll do one more right here. I might try to make that a little more even. And I'm going to do one more picture into here, and let's find another controller. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to go back to my Google, and how about a PlayStation controller? And let's just see if we get anything cool. So I'm going to pick one. I don't know. How about the problem with this orange one is that shade, and that's probably not going to look good. The good one would be to have just all white that we could. How about that one right there? That'd be pretty cool. So let's snip that. I'm going to jump back to the Word document. Make sure your cursor's in that square. Go to Insert, Screenshot, Screen Clipping. It'll jump over. And I'm just going to cut around that controller. It'll put it in there. Let's go up and reselect the formatting. That'll allow me to adjust the size of it. And then let's put a background in it. We're going to go to the paint bucket. Let's pick I don't know, another color, probably a light green. Now you have that white box. We want to get rid of that. It's really easy to do. We go to, which one is it? Layout? No, it's, oh, where is it? I'm sorry, you have to select the image. Select the image and click Format, Color, and you want to do Set Transparent Color, and you just click in the white box and it should mostly disappear. It didn't turn out great, but you kind of get the idea there. Now that controller is bigger than the other one, so I could resize it if I wanted to make it almost that size, but you kind of get the idea here. So a lot of cool stuff you can do with tables to create some really spicy looking things and presentations of data. But those are the basics: merging cells, changing the merged cells to kind of create a unique feel, inserting colors and changing text and stuff. Just real simple things you can do to make it look cool. So when you're all done, you should have a document pretty similar to this. And let me know if you have any questions.